it is time to consider the UK purchase in term 1 of 1914. This down here was my first idea, because as the song goes, Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves, except up in the North Sea, right up here, where the Germans, well, they put us to the bottom of the oceans. But that purchase would have been a reprisal purchase, and I figure that the necessity of that was quite low. If I was buying transport ships and supporting those to move across to France and attack maybe Holland or into Germany itself, it does make more sense, but not enough for right now. France are holding their own. In fact, they've bashed back into Lorraine. So instead, the purchase is going to be, turn the camera, a couple of infantry, a couple of artillery, which is always a useful combination, and a plane. The plane is not a response to the initial Russian buy affecting the German buy, affecting the Austria-Hungary buy, blah, 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 blah. It is actually because I want to go into India in a big way. Let's go over to there. Now, an often used house rule that people seem to do in 1914 is to say you only build 4 units in India, and I completely disagree with that. Reason being that if India was a minor power and it's has a 4 IPC value, it could mobilise 8 units, 1 infantry, 7 artillery. So I see no reason why Britain or the UK cannot build at least 8 units in there. I know that the mobilised minor powers would produce those units once, not time and time again, but I can't see sense in that rule apart from a balance reason, maybe. But the Ottomans, just down here, don't have any planes as yet, and they're not the richest of nations. They start off, I think, with 16 IPCs, which it could get them a plane, but not a lot else. The Brits will be putting their units up there, possibly making use of the transport vessels which are here, and there's also a couple of transports down in the Mediterranean just in front of us. Whether we attack Mesopotamia or the Syrian desert, I'm not entirely sure yet. Whether we bring some of that stuff, Dun Suth, and move those into Egypt to support the Middle East, or actually come right down to South Africa and continue the battle down there, depending on how that goes. I'm not 100% sure yet, but that is the purchase. I shall continue my thinking as to what we're going to bash and when, and get back to you when the first battle is on the board. After much deliberation, we have decided that the Brits are going to just move some units around over here in the UK, shuffle stuff forward into the one region, which may make it useful for transporting later on. The Canadian forces, they're going to sit there for a little while. There's too many Germans around that could possibly cause some problems. There are some battles though. Units down here are just going to move and amalgamate themselves, but there'll be one battle here, one battle over in Persia. Not a big fan of invading too many neutrals in this game, but Persia is ripe for plucking and gets in the way of a UK attack on the Ottomans. But the big battle is going to be here in Jordan. There is 2 units have come from India on the transport and going to jump onto this jump onto the amphibious assault with 1 battleship, and the 6 guys and the artillery, they're going to bash their way through. Oh, and we are going to be amalgamating these 2 fleets together, thank you Poppet, ahead of the battle. It's on the board, it's ready to go. We have first the battleship, which scores a hit, nice. After that, 2 infantry are promoted with the artillery. So we have 4 at 3, and we get another 2 good hits. and the remaining 6 infantry on their own bash their way through. Oh, another 3 off of there. I believe that's Jordan completely wiped. Well done the Brits. In reply, I didn't put it on the board, that's what I did. Couple of infantry and 1 artillery, so that's 3 at 3 for the Ottomans, and they get 1 hit in reply. Battle in Persia is on the board. Obviously, fighting for Persia is the Ottomans. Britain are on the back foot. They only have 2 at 3, and they both miss, and 3 at 2s, and get just the 1 hit. This could be painful, but there are reinforcements coming in. The Ottoman guys fighting for the Persians score 3 hits. Oh, nasty. Just to tidy things up right at the end here, the guy from Rhodesia has moved into South Africa. There will be an attack, I should imagine, next go when the numbers are a little bit more comfortable. There is going to be a fight. It's a local lad from Camden. He's going to have a go in German East Africa from British East Africa. It's against the odds, but he's a plucky lad, plenty of spirit. He's going to roll at 2 and gets a hit. Nice. German guy on 3. He misses. Wow. Okay. Wasn't quite expecting that, but you were always hopeful. Next up will be the Ottomans, and I should imagine the Brits up in Persia are going to be worried about that. This is the buy for the Ottomans. 2 infantry, 2 artillery, 14 IPCs. It's about all they can afford at the moment. They can't get involved in the aircraft wars. We'll have a quick fly around and show you what we're going to be doing with them. In Persia, they're going to have a bash against the Brits. They've moved some of the guys in from Mesopotamia, but not the artillery. The artillery is going this way. Joining up with these guys that are coming from Ankara. Reason being, they're not sure just how belligerent the Russians are going to be from their Sevastopol base in Transjordan. They are having no beef with the Brits apart from buddy beef, if that is even any kind of sense at all. The guy from Syrian Desert and the guys from Smyrna, with one of the artillery from Smyrna, or the only artillery from Smyrna, they're going to have a bash, no problem at all. Guys from Constantinople are going to come down into Smyrna. I think they want to get this bit done and dusted first, and possibly threaten the Brits in the Middle East to divert attention away from what's happening in India, because obviously India is going to be able to produce quite rapidly. Couple of the guys from Constantinople, they've moved into Bulgaria, activated them, or one of the guys rather, having to use the generic grey chips already. And the fleet that was in Sea Zone 20, well, that's come out into the Med. Whilst the Ottomans look strong at this stage, they don't have a lot of pennies to spend, and unless they start roaming around the map a little bit. So they're going to go and have an attack at this Italian fleet to try to ease the pressure on the Austria-Hungary guys that may be able to put pressure back onto the Russians. You following me? You have to play the powers as a single unit rather than individuals to make the best out of the Ottomans, I believe. But you know, my plans, like many times, will go wrong on a single dice roll. Talking of which, we have one on the board, which is the Transjordan battle. Let's go over to there and throw some dice around. So, for the attacking Ottomans, 1 artillery at 3 promotes 1 of their artillery infantry units. Get me words right. And they are going to roll 2 misses. Not the best of starts. It leaves the remaining 6 infantry at 2s and get just the 2 hits. They were hoping for a lot better than that. The Brits say, I say, O'Bean, that was jolly unsporting of you. We roll all ours at 3, don't you know, and get 3 hits. I shall adjust that on the board and look at the next battle. The one-sided battle in Persia. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry and an artillery, and a couple of plucky UKs. It's on the board already, ready to rock and roll. One of the Ottoman infantry is promoted with its artillery, rolled in 2s at 3s, and get 1 hit. So the infantry will have to have a little hack and slash with their scimitars and get a second hit, but only just. Ooh, that's a bit tighter than we thought. And the 2 Brits are going to defend at 3s, 1 the infantry, 1 artilleries, and they get a hit too. Next up will be the sea battle, I think. But those last 2 skirmishes have put the Ottomans up to 20 IPC, so they're going to get quite a reasonable buy next time. The last thing we've got to do is tidy up this sea battle here. 2 cruisers from Sea Zone 20 have moved into 17. They're going to attack this battleship and a cruiser from the Italians, very stylish, wearing their Armani suits. First thing we've got to do is try to avoid the mines. So, 2 at 1. Oh my giddy aunt. That wasn't in the planning. Okay, so the Ottoman Navy are no longer. That needs a rethink. Next up, I believe it is the Italians on deck. See you then. Italy. The perennial kicking horses of 1914 have got their purchase ready. Not these guys, that's me being overly efficient like a German washing machine. These, I've got no idea how efficient a German washing machine is, crikey. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys have been bought, ready to go into Rome in a moment. I'll show you why we've got those guys ready to rock and roll. Let me move the camera. Because this little boaty thing is going to go from Rome with infantry and artillery that was in Rome, part of the 6 or 7 units that are in there, to Albania. It will energise Albania, it will energise the Italian economy with +2 and give them an extra artillery and 3 guys. That may be enough to withstand any attack from Serbia, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Obviously, a lot will depend on Austria-Hungary's attitude towards Albania and whether they might leave these areas for the Ottomans to come through and collect some IPCs to help build their bank up a little bit. Austria-Hungary's job really is going to be for looking out for Russia and how they can get into those states up there. They have, however, decided to move 1 guy, that's all they can, from Tuscany into there to join that battle. We shall card that and roll that in a minute if you will stand up straight. Guys from Rome move to Tuscany. The guys from Libya, out of shot here, will move towards Egypt to help back the British up and their Ottoman attack. And the only other thing of importance is the one place Italy can attack on an even keel, and keel being the word, is by going into Sea Zone 8, is it? 18, my mistake, because they have the same number of units in there. And they can attack the Austria-Hungary Trieste port and shipping. That could be quite important. It's the only even battle they have. Let's stick it on the board and we're going to roll it out. Of course, one of the things we have to do is make sure that they get into the sea zone, avoiding those mines. So the battleship first, it gets in, and the cruiser. Oh, it gets in. Okay, you know as well as I do, there's no battle board for the shipping in this game, but here they are in front of us. It's easier for me to keep count of, and possibly less confusing to show on a video. So, Italy's battleship will go first at 4, and it rolls a 3. Nice, that's 1 hit. I am imagining that they would take that as one hit on their battleship, and its cruiser rolls at 3, and I've just rolled it completely off the mat, gets a 6, that's an entire miss. In reply, the battleship from Italy, from Austria-Hungary, rolls a 6, that's a miss, and its cruiser rolls another 6. Okay, round 2. Of course, you can pull off at any point in time when you're doing sea battles. We're going to continue. We're on an even keel, and we're actually 1-0 up in this penalty shootout. Battleship rolls at 4. Very nice. And the cruiser is probably going to go. The Italian cruiser rolls at 3 and gets a hit. Oh my goodness. That is these guys wiped. They have 1 shot back each. Austria-Hungary battleship is going to roll at 4s and gets a hit. They can absorb that. And the cruiser rolls at a 3 and that gets a hit. So in a close fought battle, Austria-Hungary are sunk to the bottom. Italy have 1 battleship injured. So the last thing to do is to remove the transport that was Austria-Hungarian and is now feeding the fishes. Battle for Venice, in that contested region, it's an even affair. It's 7 dice each. Flop over to there quickly. And if that's not too out of focus for everybody, we have 2 artilleries supporting 2 infantries. So Italy are rolling 4 at 3 initially and getting 3 hits. Oh, they're feisty bunch, these Italians today. 3s at 2s and get 2 more hits. Man alive, these dice are hot. In reply, the Austria-Hungary forces have the 7 dice all going at 3s and they get just the 2 hits. Job done. I shall put that onto the board and reinforce all the reinforcements. There's no more movements and battles to report on, so the next time will be America, which should be a very quick go. Well, we got on a buy for America land. It's not a very big buy. I know some people don't actually buy anything for America and on the first few turns because they're not really part of the whole engagement, and they would just save their 20 IPCs per turn and make one big buy at the end. I know we don't go for historical accuracy in any of the Axis and Allies series, but it would seem reasonable for America to start making preparations, and transport ships, well, it's part of their general industrial profile, I would imagine. So they're buying themselves a couple of transports and 1 plane. I'll stick them over in America land at the end of this turn, which is really about now. But I thought we'd do it a very, very quick flyby for what we've got to look forward to in the second turn, which will begin with Austria-Hungary in the next video along, video 3 in this series. We have over in the French-Italian border some Frenchies here going to come in to Piedmont and support the Venice crew, who may come under pressure from Austria-Hungary very early on. The French themselves, on their general border of Belgium and Lorraine, have pressure from Alsace. Yeah, we're going to expect that. But the interesting thing for me is what's going to happen way over in Russia land. Over there, as you can see, with Monty Rushkin and his flying circus. Will this tactic of 4 planes benefit Russia? I can't wait to find out. I'm sure you'll be equally enthused. See you in video number 3.